Hi everybody and welcome to the Mental Toughness and Body Show. My name is Rob Evans and I'm your weight loss coach, health strategist and internationally published author, helping take your mindset, your life, your business, your body from where you are right now to becoming unstoppable. And first of all, I will just say if you hear some background noise, which is the wind, I'm inside my studio today. But we have been having some horrific winds, nothing like they've been having over in Louisiana on the other side of the world, but really, really strong winds. So you might be hearing that in the background. Today's topic, I'm calling it 5-2 programming. Is that right? 5-2 programming. What am I talking about? Some of you might immediately thinking, oh, that's eating for 5 days, sticking to a schedule, and 2 days not eating eating what you want. No, I'm talking about days, 5 days, 2 days in terms of your work ethic. From, I guess, when we first start going to school, we start to get conditioned that we go to school 5 days a week and then we have 2 days where we have 2 days off and we don't do anything. And when you're young, I can't remember getting homework until I was in year 7. So those 2 days that you did whatever you liked, you played, you were a kid, you did whatever. Then as I moved into adulthood and I had my first job, I was still conditioned to the fact that, I work 5 days and then 2 days I don't do work. I just don't do it. I'm an employee. If they want me to work on the weekend, then they'd be better paying me. And the times that I did work on the weekend, I did get paid for that, but either in time in lieu or something like that. But I had really conditioned myself still that why can't I just be paid and be successful working 5 days a week? And as I progressed through the ranks of seniority in big corporates, even still, I was of the mindset, if I have to do a little bit of work over the weekend, I'll do some work after hours and stuff. But my priority was spending time for myself on the weekend because I wasn't being paid for it. Now, I don't know whether that's true, whether it was because I wasn't being paid for it. More so, I just been conditioned to the fact that, I'm away from work, why should I be working? And I might have done a few things here and there, but pretty much, no, the work was between those 5 days of the week. Now, since I started running my business, even then, when I first started my business, I wouldn't work on the weekends. And that was, I stepped into the role as my wife at the time. She wanted to go back to work, and I was the full-time dad. So that meant when I was running my business, I didn't take on clients on the weekend. And then I started doing group sessions, and I would just do one on a Saturday morning early so that I could get back home when the kids were up and my wife was up, and we'd spend the days together. But as the business got more successful, I realized that success now looks different to me. And in order for me to be successful, I need to recondition or decondition having those 2 days off if I'm going to be successful. And that meant all of those years where I had those 2 days where I wasn't, working on myself as such, they felt like lost times. And I owned an acreage, so I was doing lots of work on the acreage, and I guess in the long run that ended up being very fruitful because we ended up making a bunch of money on the property when we sold it after 10 years. But the point is I wasn't working on my self as much as I could have. So certainly for the last 2.5 years, certainly the last 2 years, I've been adopting a different mindset, and that is every weekend, every day, I work. Every day. Even if it's only a little bit here and there, but I work every day. Now, because I am now doing 2 podcasts a day, I have to record them every day. So sometimes I record 2 in a day because I might be doing, like yesterday I recorded one, and then I also did an interview yesterday as well, which I'm going to put up soon, in the next couple of days. So sometimes I do 2. And that's not to mention all the other things that I do too. Sunday is the only day that I have where I don't have client-facing time. So I use that time to work on building the business, doing marketing, doing those things that tend not to be admin related. I want to use those weekends for growing things, taking that extra step forward. And that's how I started to get my book finished, Awaken the Sexy Within. I decided that I would use every second weekend when I didn't have the kids to really knuckle down and just work. And on the weekends when I had the kids, I wouldn't work, apart from the early client-facing stuff in the morning on a Saturday. But then I changed that, and I thought, well, hang on, I'm still missing out on time here. If I could be getting up early in the morning, working while the kids are still asleep on the weekends that I have them, and then on the weekends that I don't have them, I'm just working all day. And I think I've gotten better and better at that over time. But the key is I had to recondition myself, or decondition, if that's a word, uncondition myself from the fact that you have 2 days off. Now, some of you might be listening to this and saying, well, that's just lunacy. You can't keep working on that all the time. And I guess the answer to that is, I think you're capable of so much more than you think you are. And you're not going to know until you really push yourself to find out, well, what's really your limit? And I found that in doing that, that's also made me realize the importance of taking care of my health, optimizing my health, my energy levels, getting enough sleep, and just pushing myself. Because I think we are way too easy on ourselves. We give up too easily. And you feel a bit tired, you say, I should stop now. If you're a bit hungry, I should eat now. That hurts when you're doing an exercise or whatever, as in like the muscle burn. That hurts now, I better stop now. I was like, no, you need to get to the point where you can feel the burn, you're feeling the pain, and then you push a little bit harder. If you want greatness, you've got to push that little bit harder. So that over time, I wasn't good at it straight away, but then over time I realized that if you want to be successful, you've got to do what other people won't do. And most other people aren't going to want to do that. And so what I started to do was hang out with different people that started to get it, and connecting with more people, building relationships with more people that you didn't have to explain to them why you're working on a weekend. You just didn't have to do that because they got it. You don't have to, well, let me rephrase it. Anyone that asks you, why do you get up at 4:20 in the morning, they don't get you. They don't understand business, they don't understand success. If somebody tells me they get up at 4 or earlier, I say, yeah, good on you, well done. So what I would say is this: if you are conditioning yourself to take all the weekends off, how's that working out for you? Because it didn't work out too well for me. I wasn't getting where I wanted to get to, and I was just wondering, why am I not getting to where it is that I want to get to? And it was only through the pain and frustration of not getting there that I realized, I need to do this differently. I needed to change my mindset about what success was and how I was going to achieve that. And that only came through coaching, through talking to the right people, seeing how they got their success, and then understanding through the studying of successful people and how they got there, what time they were getting up in the morning, how often they were working, how hard they were working, and really conditioning that through every fibre so that I just worked a lot. And I still do. Now, it's not about becoming a workaholic. I mean, I don't even consider it work. It's just doing what I love. And the key is to, I wouldn't say balance, because I don't know that an entrepreneur ever gets the balance, as in like 50% family, if you like, and 50% business. I think it's always tilted towards the business side, but it's being able to tilt things to the family and relationships and stuff when it's required, and you're present for it 100%. I think that's the key. I mean, I work damn hard. I work long hours, and I'm a very loyal, very loving person. And when I'm not working, I'm there completely for the people that I'm with. And I think that's an important part. But while you're building something, you want to spend more time in it. So that change of mindset for me meant that no weekends off. No weekends off. You just keep working. You find a way to be strategic about it so that when it gets to those weekends, you say, okay, I'm going to save that for the weekend. That is something that's specifically on whatever works for you. For me, I work on those things that are growing the business, or something new, like some new marketing campaign, or something that is going to not just get me from day to day. It's like that next level. What's that next thing? So, for instance, it was the book for me. It was the online program for me. It was working on websites, and like new websites, and new direction, and new coaching programs, and that kind of thing. Nutting out over the weekend. So what are these things going to look like? Doing the research, understanding how I'm going to do it, and then through the week doing it. So that was a huge realization for me, and it's made a big difference to what I get done. Because I think there's nothing more frustrating than, my last point on this is about maintaining momentum. And what I feel is that you can get some great momentum, say, coming up to Friday, and then you have 2 days off, and you come back to Monday, and it's like, oh, what was I working on? Oh, yeah, that's right. And you just lose time. And I think if you're a serious entrepreneur that's really wanting tremendous success, you have to create a plan that involves you working over the weekends, every weekend. Working, constantly. I know that sounds painful. And yeah, does that mean that you can't ever go and have a weekend off and do things? No, I'm not saying that. But I think what you want to be doing is getting into that mindset of, I need to keep my momentum going. I liken it to this. You have this bus that is standing still. A bus is big, like 50, 60 seat bus, that's big. Now, if you're going to push that from start, that is really, really tough. You require so much energy to get the bus pushed forward. But here's the thing. Once it starts to move, it doesn't require anywhere near as much momentum as it did to get it started. And that's so true with many things in life. It's like the big snowball. You know, you push the snowball and it gets bigger and bigger as it rolls down the hill. It's that momentum to start with that is, well, that force to start with that is the hardest part. Then once you get it going, it's easy. Easier. It doesn't require as much force. You've just got to keep on pushing along, keep on doing a little bit more. And that's what I found was the difference with my book, if I use that as an example. I said, all right, I set a date of the end of the year, and I'm going to work on it every second weekend when I don't have the kids. That second weekend would come around, I would struggle to get into writing. I'd get distracted by other things, and the weekend would be over, and I would have done a bit, but I thought, man, at this rate, I am never going to finish the book. So I thought, I need to change this radically. And that was, I need to find time every single day, at least 30 minutes. I think I picked an hour, but say at least 30 minutes to do something on the book. And I tell you, that created so much energy for me, because I'd get into it over, say, that weekend. I'd get some good writing going on. You'd still have those thoughts fresh in your head. You say, okay, I know where to pick up from tomorrow. And so tomorrow would come and I'd get into it, say, right, yep, I know what I'm doing here. And the next day, and the next day, and the next day. And it was only through consistently scheduling those things and sticking to it that I got to the end process. Really, really important for me to keep that momentum going. So I think this will be true for you too. Don't have all weekends off. You'll lose your momentum. Success is not a 5-2, it's a 7-7, not a 5-2. So, if you want to find out how you can work more closely with me, all you need to do is go to thementaltoughnessandbodyshow.com, scroll to the bottom, click on the link, you can opt in for a free consultation with me. I'd love to connect with you and see how we can work together. In the meantime, you stay safe, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye for now.